back to Crafting with Crystal. I'm Crystal. This is Fun Freeman Fridays. Today's craft is going to be It's Fall Y'all, or Hello Fall, or whatever it is that you're going to end up writing here and here. So this one is unfinished, but it is a sample. I didn't write anything here because my handwriting is horrendous, so I'm gonna leave it up to your imagination. I will eventually maybe vinyl cut something and put it there. But what our materials are going to be are these little plaque things that you can get from Michael's. I believe they're like $2 to $4. You're going to need your wooden beads. So I did do a smaller size instead of the bigger size, just so I could give you an example of what's going on. There are bigger sizes, which I highly recommend you use if you're going to be using it for a sign. Mine is just for a sample so that I can show you. So keep in mind that you'll need multiple bags of these wooden beads for a bigger one. Of course, I got my foam brushes here. I have my paint, and then I have my little middle decorations here. And what I happen to have, these little roses that I pulled off of old headbands that I no longer use. I bought them for sale, as well as these little roses that also came off of a headband. If you can see, that was the middle there. So on this next one, I am going to use these little chains attached with my roses. You don't have to use this. You can use regular fall flowers. You can use, bits and pieces that you find off of things you have around the house. Real flowers, succulents, which is highly recommended. On this one, I used these little pods that you find on fall seasonal floral arrangements, and I just cut off the heads and stuck them on there. Didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to, so I didn't finish what I was going to do, which is make these all the way around. But since it's a sample, we're not worried about that. Okay? And I also have these tissue papers, napkins, I'm not sure what you would call them, Kleenex, to one, have a nice clean work area so you don't get paint anywhere, and so you have a place to set your brushes, unless you have a painting tray, painting tins, paper plates, anything else that you'd like to use. This is what I have on hand, so this is what I'm using. So generally you'll just make a straight line across here. You can also lay down tape, which is what I did for the first one, but I found that it was so easy that I'm just going to apply the paint directly to this. On my next one, I am going to mix these colors with white, but I do not have a white at the moment, so I'm just going to use these colors to show you as an example. So, and instead of using a painting tin, a board, anything like that, I'm going to apply my paint directly to this. One other thing that I forgot to mention that you're going to need is a hot glue gun, because regular glue is not going to keep your little wooden beads here on the sides, but a hot glue gun will. So make sure you also have that. The reason I have two foam brushes is so that I don't have to wash my brush to do the next color. So you can see that there. I just made a straight line across and filled it in. So I have some extra paint on my paintbrush still. I'm just going to go around my edges. Again, they'll be covered up by the beads, but in the event that you have to miss a bead or two, or you space them out if you'd like, then there will be some color there. as opposed to just the wooden board. I'm not so much worried about this middle line because I am going to have flowers there. It's going to cover it up. So if you have bigger flowers, a bigger difference isn't going to matter. So I finished that color. I'm going to go ahead and do my orange. You may have to go over your paint a couple different times. Just because you don't want it see-through, obviously. You want it a nice opaque color. So you may have to wait for the first layer to dry before you start doing anything else. So they're very dark fall colors, and again, I am lamenting the fact that I didn't bring my white paint because the lighter colors would definitely have looked so much better. You're more than welcome to use any colors you like. It's going to be your fall sign. I do recommend lighter colors, pinks, especially this is going to be for fall, corals, light oranges, yellows, and you can even mix that up with some white. Finish my outer ring here. So since some of my middle is going to be showing, it's not all going to be covered by my flowers, the ones that I have and how I plan to use them. I'm just going to go down this middle and start blending it. Just go up and down right here on the middle. And of course this is what I'm doing. You don't necessarily have to do that. Because if you want yours to have a straight line, have a straight line. You don't have to mix it up at all. So mine has a nice little gradient event effect going on there. So I'm going to leave this to dry. Next thing I'm going to do is place my flowers and hot glue them down exactly where I want them. So I've already kind of planned out what I wanted to do with this before I started so that I could show you something that, you know, was a little bit more cohesive than my Pokeball over here, just for reference. Does look very red. But that just goes to show you what all of these things can look like depending on what it is that you're wanting to do with it. So the colors can vary, the accents can vary, how you set it up, if you choose to write on it rather than vinyl it, which is what I'm going to do. So you won't exactly see my finished product with the wording because mine will be vinyled later. Again, this is just to kind of show you what it is that you can do with this and give you the basic setup, basically. So since my flowers are attached by this chain that I have, I'm waiting for it to dry before I show you what I did. I will have to use, wire cutters, something like that to go ahead and get them off. Right now I'm not worried about that because again, this is a sample just to show you what I did, what you can do, Okay, great. So now that it's dry, this is what I went with. I am utilizing my chains here as an additional spot for flowers. But that is what it is going to look like. And I will go ahead and glue down the chains so they stay exactly where I want them. The whole way the sides are still not completely dry, so gotta be careful. I have my base, I have my flowers where I want them. I have the accents that I want, nothing additional. Now that I have everything that I want settled how I want it, I'm gonna go ahead and glue my beads. So this part you won't be able to see, I don't have someone behind my camera, but I will show you the finished result, and I will show you where I'm starting. So first of all, you need to start, I'll show you on this one, here down in the middle, wherever you want your center line to be, especially if you're gonna have flowers across. That way, in case you don't have enough, you'll at least have a flower to cover the side here so that the wooden beads don't need to be right here. You'll save at least 4, 3, however many, depending on what you're using. So you'll start in the middle and work your way around. I do want to emphasize that these wooden beads do have holes in them so that you can use them for different crafts. What you want to do is make sure that those beads are on the side so that when you glue it down, the openings are going to be facing each other. So they'll end up looking like this. There we go, like this. So whenever you look at from the top and the bottom, you won't see any of those holes. And I found earlier when I was doing that first one that I was just shy of the amount of beads that I needed for this smaller version. So being extra careful because I do have flowers to fill those voids on the side. So when I get close to being to the flowers, I'm gonna start on the top and then again work my way to the sides. You won't have a lot of working time once you set it down, so make sure you're positioning them exactly how you want them to be. And a good hack for your glue gun is that you don't want to waste any time when you're gluing things. So what I did was I put glue on the back of the glue stick that was already in there and then put a glue stick on there. So I don't have to stop for this whole other glue stick. I will have time so that I don't have to stop to look for more glue sticks or even try to fit another one in there because sometimes it won't catch right away, especially if it's not already in the heated part of the glue stick. So I wanted to show you, there's a little bit that comes off whenever you are finishing putting a dot on your little wooden bead there. And we don't want that to transfer in any way to what you're working on. So if you just put the dot and then quickly swirl it around, it will break off instead of clinging to what you're gluing and to your glue gun. That way you don't have to go back on your project, pick off all of those little spider webs. So I'm going to use all of my beads since I have the chance to. And I am seeing that my flower line is not quite straight, but that's okay. I think that's decent. So at this point, you could just pick it up by the little wooden beads that you have there. And there you go. So with my finished one, I will vinyl the words onto this plate, fall or it's fall. I don't have much room down here, so I might just, put my name across the top, home, you will probably get one of the bigger saucers to work with, just because this was a small one. This is a sample that I wanted to show you how it's done. So definitely go with the bigger one so that you have space for those words. So that was our project today. Really short, really simple. If you have better handwriting than I do, it will be really quick. You won't have to use a vinyl cutter just to put words across your thing there. But that's it. Like, you can make it any color. You can put anything here in the middle. The wooden beads, I like to keep them wooden as opposed to coloring them this, but you can color them and paint them whatever you'd like. I think that's the beauty of this particular project. It can go with any color. You can do exactly what you like with it. You can use just about anything to decorate it. Again, I really liked this headband, and I didn't want it to go to waste, so I just pulled the flowers and the chains off. And look, I was able to really repurpose them into something nice. Which is why I always say don't throw anything away, unless you're a hoarder. Please don't start hoarding anything unless you plan to do something with it. So yeah, hope you share this craft today. It's really simple, something you can do for November, something you can do year round. You can even make these winter ones, but definitely do it how you like it. Use the colors that you like, use the accents that you like, make it your own. Definitely experiment, and just make the craft your own, which is what I always encourage here on this channel. Make mistakes, just keep working with it, keep going. Craft. Again, this was Crafting with Crystal. It was a very short craft today. Again, I apologize that it's not fully complete, but if you've been on this channel before, you've seen how bad my handwriting is, so I will not subject anyone else to that. It's up to you what you'd like the words to be. It's up to you whether you'd like to paint them on, draw them on, write them on, or vinyl them on like I am going to do. But it's really many variables. Do what you like. Share this craft today, comment below, send us pictures of what you end up doing, and I really hope that y'all had fun today as much as I did, and we'll see you next time. Little fall or whatever you'd like. Oh no, it's leaving again. Stay. And then once it does dry, I may go ahead and come back and repaint it and then regradient it. That is not a word, nor it is a phrase, but I'm going to make it so today for this, my middle there. So the gradient's gonna have a nice look. I'm gonna let this sit. Why do I keep talking to myself? Stop using your hands. Stop using this. Ricky Bobby. Every time. Cannot Ricky Bobby. And sorry for the lighting. There's actually only one light on in this room. How much time do I have? A lot of time. I can go grab it now. And I am kind of making a mess here. Great. Fantastic. Love it. How much time do I have? 30 minutes. So this part you won't be able to see. I don't have someone. I don't think I've ever apologized for the faces that I make, but I do apologize. I tend to tuck in my lips when I am thinking.